long story short, pretty much the story of Romeo and Juliet that everyone knows is the love between two characters that causes six deaths within the story. It's an incredibly dramatic and tragic theme, but somehow Tchaikovsky managed to turn this theme into something beautiful, into something that's worth listening to.
Menurut aku, karya Romeo dan Juliet ini tuh menitik beratkan kepada satu titik utama, yang adalah tentang takdir. Takdir itu kan kayak yang kita semua tahu tuh udah dirancang oleh Yang Maha Kuasa, dan juga didukung oleh semesta dan sekitar kita. Tapi, karena keluarga yang berantem, dua keluarga ini yang tidak akur, jadinya mereka harus diubah takdirnya. Tapi bahkan yang ubah takdir mereka tuh bukan mereka sendiri, malah keluarganya yang mengubah takdir mereka. Keluarga Montague dan juga keluarga Capulet berantem. Dan itu konflik yang sudah lama, perkelahian yang sudah lama, yang tidak pernah diusahakan untuk diselesaikan dengan baik. Gitu. Tidak pernah terjadi, dan alhasil jadinya yang harus kena imbasnya adalah Romeo dan Juliet. Karena konflik keluarga, karena ketidakakuran kedua keluarga ini.
So playing the piece of Romeo and Juliet in Concordia's last concert was very rewarding to me because it was one of the most challenging pieces that I've ever played for orchestra. We had to practice many months for it. Having it come together slowly in front of your eyes, it's a very rewarding process. And ultimately, during the concert, I think it was also the adrenaline and everyone was giving 100% of their game. So during the concert, it was 100% more beautiful. It's so fleeting. I don't want it to end, but it ended anyway. But it was very beautiful and I was really glad to be able to be a part of it.
Honestly, playing Romeo and Juliet Overture was one of the hardest orchestral pieces that I've ever learned. It was really a memorable experience because I remember having to practice that until around midnight. It was really hard. It was difficult. There were really fast passages. For example, the war theme between the two families. We had to play a bunch of running notes, and sometimes the notes just wouldn't make sense. It really took a while for us to get the notes memorized in our heads and on our fingers. And there was also the cymbals in that part. They replicated the sound of swords in war, and hearing that sound while playing something so fast, something so intense, it really built the atmosphere.
Selain tema cintanya yang sangat indah, ada juga satu tema dan bagian yang menurutku harus di-highlight juga, yang adalah lullaby yang dialunkan oleh suster atau neninya Juliet. Nah, lullaby-nya ini selalu di-pairing dan disatukan dengan tema cintanya Romeo dan Juliet untuk menenangkan Juliet dan juga untuk sebuah pembelajaran juga ke Juliet kalau semuanya tuh akan baik-baik aja kok. Terkadang cinta yang sejati, cinta yang murni, cinta yang sangat-sangat sepolos dan seindah itu bisa datang dari orang yang tidak sedarah, yang hanya memang mencintai kita apa adanya. Dan itulah cinta dari suster atau neninya Juliet kepada Juliet.
Honestly, if you think about let's say every time you have a crush on someone, for example, I'm sure everyone has, or every time Yeah, and every time you look at that crush or that person you happen to like at the moment, I don't know, that like that one love theme would be the theme that would always pop up whenever you see that person. I don't know why. That's just that's just personally what I think.
Cinta tuh sebenarnya memang seindah itu. Hasil akhirnya, perasaannya, prosesnya semua itu yang kita pelajari, yang kita lalui, itu malah akan menjadi pembelajaran yang indah untuk kita juga. Menjadi pengalaman yang akan selalu kita kenang.
Love is dumb. Love is sometimes blind, but love is the most incredible thing that anyone can experience. So even if it is dumb sometimes, even if it is blind sometimes, then I'd say it's still worth experiencing. So yeah, that's all.
I think something a bit deeper that we can see from this part of the story, especially, is the fact that love sustains life. Life comes from love itself. When we see examples from a mother giving birth to their child, or even when God created humans, it comes from a place of love. And when that love is taken away from us, and that love is taken away from Romeo and Juliet, it really ends their life, literally. As we can hear, the timpani sounds like heartbeats and it's starting to die away. So when they die, when their love dies as well, the song ends with them. And if we said that the song is like life, then love is very important to sustain life. So when that love is gone, then life is gone as well.
Dari semua kebencian, sebagai manusia itu bisa menyebabkan seseorang, sebuah pasangan, Romeo and Juliet itu mati, dan begitu pula cintanya yang mati. Memang tragis, tapi inilah cinta. Memang cinta butuh sacrifice, akan ada halangan, tapi itulah cinta.
I think a heartbreaking part of the story of Romeo and Juliet is that the fact that both of the families have a lot of hatred for each other, and that hatred causes two people who are deeply in love with each other to be unable to be together. It's not only a story that we can find in fairy tales or plays, but it's something that we find every day in our daily life. And just like the story of Romeo and Juliet, sometimes that hatred is unexplainable. It just runs throughout generations, it runs throughout history. And when two people decide to break that line of hatred, it is sometimes met with tragic endings. It acts as a reminder for us to always try to ask ourselves, why do we hate and why do we love? To ensure that nobody gets hurt in the process.
Majestic,
Tulus,
Keikhlasan,
sejati,
Romantic,
hope,
rapuh,
tragic,
karma,
kebahagiaan,
relatable,
heartbreaking.
beautiful.
cinta.